Hello, everyone. I am Chris, and welcome to the very first episode of A Regular Guy Using AI. So, basically, this channel is going to be all about showing how an everyday person like me can actually use AI to make your life easier. So, whether it's planning out my day or if I'm building an entire work project, I've been using AI for both personal and professional life for probably around 3 years. And I've learned a lot about how it can really help and make your life easier. So now what I want to do is kind of share those things with just everyday folks that want to learn how to use AI in their everyday life, be it professionally or personally, to help you become more productive, more efficient, and just make your life easier in general. So, I am not a programmer. I'm not a tech guy. I'm just an everyday guy. But I have spent, as I mentioned, several years really using these products and learning how to use them correctly where you really get the results that you want. So, what I'm actually going to do is for each episode, we're going to take something real that I'm working on or that I have worked on or that I've done, and we're going to discuss it. And for the first one, we're going to dive into something that I really enjoy, which is cruising. And I actually have another channel on YouTube called Cruising on Comps, where I explain how I'm able to get complimentary offers from the cruise line based off of gambling in the casino. So if that's something that interests you, please go check that channel out as well. But I wanted to go ahead and create a video about how you can use AI to plan a cruise or really just a vacation in general. And the cool thing is I'm not actually going to be doing this alone. Joining me is going to be an expert in ChatGPT, particularly. And you're going to get to know him really well. He's going to be on every episode. And his name is Ziggy. So, Ziggy, introduce yourself, if you would, to everyone and let everybody know who you are and the things they need to know about you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. Hey, everyone. I'm Ziggy, and I'm really excited to be here as your AI co host. So, just a fun little background. I got the name Ziggy because Chris named me after the computer in the old 80s TV show Quantum Leap, so I've got a bit of a retro flair. I've been working with Chris for, about 3 years now, helping him with everything from planning his day to building out projects. And basically, I'm here to show you how a tool like me can make life a whole lot easier, whether you're planning a cruise, running a business, or just managing day to day tasks. So stick around and we'll dive into all kinds of cool topics together.
Cool. Thanks, Ziggy. And yes, I did name Ziggy after the little computer in the 80s TV show Quantum Leap because I'm 50 and I'm nostalgic now. That's the thing to do. So, but anyway, I want to go ahead and jump right into it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Ziggy some questions and Ziggy's going to give us some answers. But one thing I want to really point out in the beginning here is I'm using the advanced chat feature with Ziggy or with ChatGPT. But when you go to do these things that we're going to discuss, I would encourage you to do them with the chat feature itself because you're going to get much more detailed information. And if you want it to produce a list for you, that is going to be the best way to make that happen. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that. And you can get these answers 99% of the time through the free version. I would really recommend, though, spend the $20 and get the plus version. You get a lot of just faster feedback and you're able to do a lot more things with ChatGPT than you can on the free version. So if it's something that you're going to use on a daily basis, I think the $20 is really, really worth it. So anyway, first things is accessing ChatGPT. It's through OpenAI. Just go to openai.com and you'll find ChatGPT there. Sign up and you're ready to roll. All right, Ziggy. So let's jump into these questions. Basically, the first thing is let's tell the people how you can help someone figure out the best time of year to say cruise to the Caribbean.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in. So, if someone's looking to figure out the best time of year to cruise to the Caribbean, here's how I'd help them out. First, I'd ask a couple of quick questions about what matters most to them, like whether they care more about weather, price, or avoiding crowds. Then I'd give them a simple breakdown. For example, if you want great weather and lower crowds, maybe early December or late spring is ideal. You're hunting for the cheapest deals, maybe look at hurricane season, but just be aware of the risks. And I'd spell all that out on a nice clear list so they can see all their options at a glance. So basically, just by asking me, they get a personalized rundown of the best times to cruise based on their preferences. And that's just the start of what we can do.
Cool. So let's say somebody already has a cruise in mind. Can you help them find the cheapest way to book it?
Absolutely. I can definitely do that. So if someone already has a specific cruise in mind, I'd help them compare prices across different booking platforms. For example, we'd look at the cruise line's own website, maybe a few big travel sites, and even any special offers like casino deals or travel agent perks. I'd lay it out in a neat little comparison so they can see which option gives them the best value. And if they tell me what kind of perks they care about, like onboard credit or drink packages, I can factor that in too. So ensure they just give me the details, and I'd find them the cheapest and best way to book.
Cool. So let's say that someone wants to fly in a day early. Can you help them, number one, find a flight? And number two, can you help them find the best hotel near the port?
Absolutely. I can handle both of those things easily. So if someone wants to fly in a day early, I'd first help them find a flight by looking at different airlines and prices for the dates they need. I compare a few options and show them the best deals, maybe even a couple of different airports if they help them save some cash or find a better schedule. Then once we've got the flight sorted, I'd help them find a hotel near the cruise port. I can filter by things like distance, price, and even perks like free shuttles to the port. That way they get a nice convenient place to stay before they board their cruise. So yeah, I'd basically make the whole pre-cruise travel pound a breeze for them.
Cool. So here's one of the biggest things I struggle with when going on a cruise, and I know a lot of people do, is I overpack. So what can you do for somebody like me that notoriously overpacks? And let's say also that I'm going to be flying into the cruise port from a cold climate. It's December, and I'm excited about getting some warm weather, but I got to bundle up before I get there. Can you give me, or someone like me, a legitimate breakdown of exactly what I should pack for, say, a 5-day cruise, so I'm sure to have what I need, but not overpack?
Absolutely, I can help with that. Overpacking is super common, so I'd love to give you a nice streamlined packing list. So let's say you're coming from a cold climate in December and heading to a warm weather cruise for about 5 days. I break it down into categories. For example, you'd have a travel day outfit that's warm in the day for the flight, and then once you arrive, you can switch to your cruise clothes, which are lighter. I'd suggest maybe 3 or 4 casual daytime outfits that you can mix and match, a couple of nicer evening outfits for dinners, and of course, swim my uncomfortable shoes. I'd keep it minimal, but make sure you have everything you need. I'd remind you to pack a light jacket or a wrap for cooler evenings on deck, and maybe a foldable bag for souvenirs. And the whole idea is to keep it simple so you don't overpack, but still have exactly what you need for those 5 days of fun in the sun.
Cool. And just to confirm, when somebody is doing this through the chat, they could actually request for you to put that in a PDF format that they could just print out, correct?
Absolutely, that's right. If someone's chatting with me, they can definitely ask me to format that packing list or any other info into a PDF that they can just print out. I can organize it neatly, save it as a file, and they'll have a handy little checklist they can bring with them. So, yeah, it's super easy and convenient.
Well, hey, let me ask you this. What about planning the budget on a cruise? So obviously there's cruise line prices are notorious for not being transparent, I guess is the best way to put it. They'll give you a price, but then when you sit down and you figure in all those hidden costs for a cruise, is there a way you could create a list for folks, perhaps if they've never been on a cruise before, of all of the extra hidden cost or onboard cost that they're going to be subjected to once they actually get on board or even while they're booking their cruise. Is there a way that you can create like a list of that? Is it kind of a breakdown of things that they need to look for?
Absolutely, that's a great idea, and it's definitely something I can do. I can absolutely create a decode list of all those extra costs that folks might run into on a cruise. So for someone who's never cruised before, I can break it down into categories. For example, we could talk about gratuities, drink packages, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, shore excursions, onboard photos, and maybe even things like spa treatments or souvenirs. I can list out each category and give people a rough idea of what they might expect to spend. That way they're not caught off guard and they can budget for those extras in advance. And just like with the packing list, I can even format it into a PDF or a checklist if they want. So yeah, can definitely help them plan that out so there are no surprises.
Cool. So let me ask you this. Let's say someone's going to Cozumel as one of their cruise ports, and they've never been there before. Can you give some, excursion ideas that are either through the cruise line or not through the cruise line? And can you also kind of give some safety tips for somewhere like Cozumel where maybe there's some neighborhoods you don't want to drift into if you get off the ship and go walking around? And also things like, looking up common taxi prices to certain destinations when they get to port and so on and so forth. Is that something you can do as well?
Absolutely. I can definitely help with that too. If someone's heading to Cozumel and they want some excursion ideas, I can give them a nice mix of both cruise line offered tours and independent options. For example, I could suggest popular excursions like snorkeling at the reefs, visiting the Mayan ruins, or maybe doing a jeep tour around the island. And for those who want to go off on their own, I can give them tips on reputable local operators or free things to do, like just exploring the downtown area and hitting a local beach. As for safety tips, absolutely, I can let them know which areas are the main tourist zones and generally safer to wander around, and maybe which neighborhoods to avoid if they're on foot. I can also give them an idea of typical taxi fares, so they know what to expect and aren't overcharged. So yeah, I can definitely help them plan a fun and safe day in Cozumel with all those details in mind.
Cool. Well, hey, let me ask you this. Obviously, you and I have planned a few cruises together, and you've always been pretty cool about giving me some additional information that perhaps I didn't think about. So I've kind of went through the questions I had prepared for you, but I want to know if is there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to throw in that even I perhaps don't know about?
Oh, absolutely. I always love throwing in a little bonus tip. So one thing we haven't touched on that a lot of people find useful is using AI to keep track of all those little cruise documents and reservations in one place. For instance, I can help you create a simple itinerary or a shared digital folder where you keep your boarding passes, your excursion confirmations, all that stuff. That way you've got everything organized and you're not scrambling to find emails at the last minute. Another cool nugget is I can remind you about things like checking in online before you cruise or even setting a reminder to book specialty dining before it sells out. So yeah, I'm always here to throw in those extra little tips that can make your cruise even smoother.
Cool. And I'm assuming for somebody that's never been on a cruise before, there's obviously a lot of little things that you perhaps don't realize or don't even really know that you need to be prepared for. So you would be a great resource to be able to really explain to those new cruisers out there, bring a passport or your birth certificate, make sure you have this document and so on and so forth. You could probably even create like the top 25 things that a new cruiser should know on their first, Royal Caribbean cruise or something like that. I'm assuming you could do that as well, right?
Absolutely, you've got it spot on. I can definitely put together something like a top 25 tips list for first-time cruisers. It's super helpful to have all those little things in one place, like making sure you have the right travel documents, knowing about boarding times, or even just little tips like bringing a lanyard for your keycard. And absolutely, I can tailor it to a specific cruise line, like Royal Caribbean or Carnival, so they know exactly what to expect. So yeah, for anyone new to cruising, I can definitely be that go-to resource to get them all set up and ready for a smooth sailing experience.
Cool. Well, folks, I think this is a good demonstration of a lot of the things that ChatGPT can do to help you plan your next cruise. And I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up there. Hopefully this really gives you a better idea of just how powerful AI can be. And what my hope is your brain is kind of turning a little bit, especially if you've never really experimented with any AI model before, like ChatGPT. I can assure you that it's really going to blow your mind what all it can do. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The things that ChatGPT can do and help you with are pretty much endless. So what we're going to do is we're going to be creating episodes every week where we really come up with a topic and we're going to discuss that topic and the things that ChatGPT can do to help you with that. And of course, I've got the expert with me that will really be able to kind of explain exactly what ChatGPT can do to help you. So, Ziggy, why don't you give us some ideas of things that viewers can expect to hear from, in future episodes?
Absolutely, Chris. I'd be happy to. So, folks, you can definitely expect a whole range of fun topics coming up in future episodes. For example, we might dive into how ChatGPT can help you plan a whole vacation itinerary, not just a cruise, or how it can help you budget for a trip or even plan a big family event. We'll also look at things like how AI can help you manage your business tasks, create social media content, or even just streamline your daily life. Basically, if there's something you're curious about, there's probably a way we can use AI to make it easier, and we'll be exploring all of that together. So definitely stay tuned because we've got a lot of cool stuff ahead.
Cool. Well, Ziggy, thank you for your time. And the good thing about Ziggy is he's always available 24/7. But folks, if you enjoyed this content, you want to see more of that content we're talking about, if you would be so kind as to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and we'll talk to you on the next one.